Hey everybody, this is David here, aka Chessman, and I'm here today. We're going to analyze a game that was played at the Global Chess Leaugue, and it was played between Hikaru Nakamura and Alireza Firouzja. Basically, I started analyzing games, and what I basically we go through every single move, and I use a chess.com's game review to help us. That and hopefully God inspires our brains to be able to understand the complex moves. So a bit of both. Um, Before we start, I just want to say, if you have a moment, please subscribe. Basically, you may not know this, but whenever you're subscribing to someone's channel, you're helping them out. If you subscribe and watch like 10 minutes of a video, it's like you're giving me $1. Um, and, I kind of hope that I have a family by the time I'm 50, somewhere's in my 40s, hopefully. So, in order for that, I need to make more money. So, I'm sorry it's about money, but, I really do love chess, but I do also would love to have a family. So, if you can spare a moment and just push subscribe. If you feel sorry for me at all, or if you think I would be a good father, please click subscribe. And if you have time, please watch 10 minutes of my video. If you can watch more, that'd be great, but 10 minutes would be great. Thank you so much, and let's continue. Okay, so we're going to analyze this game, and we're going to use game review to do it. It says here that Alireza played with a 95%, a 6 percentile accuracy, which is pretty darn good. And Hikaru only was an 89.9, so almost 90. But so it's probably clear that Alireza probably won this game. I'm pretty sure he did. So it says Alireza played like he was a 2900 player, and Hikaru played like he was a 2700. The openings was a 99% success. The middle games was 93 for Alireza and an 86 for accuracy for Hikaru. And the end game was a 96 for Alireza and an 87 for Hikaru. All right, and Firouzja got one brilliant move. So let's start. Alright, it says taking control of the center with a pawn. This often leads to closed strategic games. Alright, so it doesn't really tell us why this is such a great move, but basically from what I know of, using a center pawn, it helps control the center, controls these two squares, and also the bishop can get out. So that's the benefits of this move. Okay. It says black's contesting the center, eyeing e4 and c4 squares solid. So again, basically, it's just controlling these two squares, and it also stops the white pawn from going any further, and the bishop can get out. Alright, the queen's gambit offers a pawn to challenge the center. So basically, if you take, you can play e4 and get the pawn back while controlling the center. I only the one I know is when you play e3, because if they try to save the pawn, I know how to win that game. But I don't know the e4 one. So, all right. So he captures the pawn, and white plays e4. Again, controlling the center and wants to get the pawn back. Alright, knight f6 develops the knight towards the center and attacks the e4 pawn. So attacks that pawn. e5 takes space in the center and attacks the knight on f6. And it also saves the pawn from being captured. Knight d5 moves the attacking knight toward the center, where it attacks many important squares. I don't know what squares it's really attacking, I guess. Bishop takes c4, captures the c4 pawn, develops the bishop, and attacks the knight on d5. Black develops the bishop and attacks the center. So that's the best move, because it attacks the center. So this is offering a trade of knights, and it's developing a piece. So it's helping to control the center. This saves the knight, and it just declines the trade, and it attacks the bishop as well. Says, ignoring the threat of the bishop, spicy, what a move. Let's show the follow-up. Takes. Okay. Alright. So I didn't see that, but so yeah, white has, if the bishop's taken, white can play queen a4 and win the knight back, and can also take a pawn first. Alright. So the bishop is taken, queen e4 is played, and black blocks with the knight. White takes a pawn, king takes back, and then white takes the knight back with check on the king, and black blocks the check, and then white continues developing. And it develops the knight and protects this pawn. Says this is the best move, so I guess it keeps the bishop out, also keeps the knight out. It says developing the bishop and increasing influence in the center. Let's go. So develops the bishop and influences in the center. Offering an exchange of pieces. So the bishop is trying to trade itself for this bishop. The bishop decides to scoot back, and now is protected by the pawns. Black's rook is ready to rumble in the middle game. So puts the rook on this semi-open file. Maybe the king wants to move to G8 now. Castling king gets the king out of dodge and the rook ready to rumble, so protects the king, and now the rook can develop. So the king does get out of the way of the rook and basically castles. So now the king's safe and the rook is on the open, semi-open file. This activates the rook. I guess there isn't much else to do. You could have developed the queen and connect the rooks. It says not bad, but not brilliant. It says the best move would have been to play a3 and just, yeah. Inaccuracy. Not the sharpest move, gotta be honest. Doesn't say why it's bad, doesn't even have a follow-up. But the best move would have been bishop to g4. But it doesn't really say why this is bad. Like, a move ago, that's the move it wanted to make, was queen to d7, so I'm not really sure why this is bad. It says this misses an opportunity to prepare a retreat square for the king. This move opens the door for the opponent to force doubling of castling pawns. So h3 would have been the best move. Finally, the rook joins the party. Black is ready to rumble. So just develops the last rook, last piece. Boom, best move right here, right now. Let's show the follow-up. Takes, takes. Alright. Let's see if that happens. Yep, the bishop takes. Pawn takes back. And an inaccuracy. So this overlooks the opportunity to offer an equal trade of pieces. So it was better to try to trade the queens. Pushing those pawns is like building a sandcastle against a tsunami. Risky. It wanted h3 a few moves ago. Now it doesn't. So again, don't know why. But it says moving the queen to h4 would have been best. Mistake. This misses out on the chance to offer an equal trade of pieces. So again, queen to d5, trying to trade queens would have been best. There was a winning move and it was missed. Ouch. So I guess the winning move would have been queen to b3. Attacking this pawn. This move is an absolute banger. Doesn't tell us why though. But I guess you're preparing to double the rooks. That creates a pawn chain. Okay. This denies them the ability to kick a knight. So this stops the threat of b5. White fumbled the bag. Advantage gone. Game's now neck and neck. Don't know why this was bad. Trying to get b5 in again. Let's see. There was only one good move and that was it. So maybe gonna triple up. Getting b5 in to kick the knight. Takes, takes. The knight's got to move. Takes, takes. The queen has to move. Offer an exchange of pieces. Takes, takes. Then queen moves. Attacks this pawn. Rook defends the pawn. Oh, I guess there was another attacker on that pawn, so bishop took the pawn. Black just slipped into a slightly worse position. Yeah, not sure what. So the best move would have been queen to d5. This move is the only one that works. What a find. This keeps the opponent from being able to sacrifice a bishop for a nice tactic. Okay. From bad to worse, Black's position is now losing. Let's show follow-up. Alright, let's see if that's played. It is. Solid move, nothing crazy. Alright. Equal trade. So, nope, doesn't trade the queens. It says now that's bishop with some range, serious range. But the best move would have been f3, it says. Threatening to force eventual checkmate. Show checkmate. Alright, so threatening a checkmate. So this trades the queen so he can't checkmate. Captures the queen back. Attacks the bishop. Defends the bishop. This blocks the rook from defending the bishop. Okay, the bishop, that brings it to safety. See, that creates a pawn chain. I guess making a passed pawn. Takes, takes. Gotta move that rook. So the rook was attacked and it moved. Now it's a passed pawn. One step away from queening. Just gotta figure out how to do it. Rook a6. Show the follow-up. Queen. Alright. And so it looks like that's what white was going to do, what we saw. We'll show the follow-up again. Takes, 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 and then we get a queen. Then it's queen versus rook. So Alireza wins the game. Going to be up a queen and wins the game. So that was a good game for Alireza. And yeah, so there's a the game was pretty good for a while, and then there was like 3 mistakes, and then white was just better, and then white got a passed pawn, and then forced its way to get a queen, or would have if black hadn't resigned, if Hikaru hadn't resigned. So yeah, it was pretty even up to like 3/4 of the game. It was even. Slight advantage for white, and then it was a big mistake. So that's it for today. If you happen to find another game from a tournament that you think was really good, just let me know in the comments. If I can find it on 365chess.com, I'll do a video on it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Really appreciate it. Really helps me out. And I'm going to try to make my videos better. I'm trying to make them the best they can, but there's only so much I can do. If you have any advice, let me know. If you have any good words of nice words, please leave them in the comments. I really appreciate it. It helps me feel good about making these videos. But I'm still new to this, and I'm trying as best I can. I'm always trying to think of new ideas, and sometimes they come to me and sometimes they don't. So I thank you for everything. I hope you have a great one and enjoy your day.